Oh, thanks for still staying with us. It's the AM show. It's our very special edition. Thanks to Mapito Sibidi for the AM news. Time for us to do the review. Of course, papers are holidaying, so we will touch base with the online portals.
All right, so Mavi, which one are we starting
with?
We
will start from home.
Certainly. MyJoyOnline.com. So let's take a look. Our top story, NPP to dismiss MMDCEs who contributed to defeat of the parliamentary candidates. Okay, so that story is our very top story. We have other news. We will eliminate you. Manasseh Azuri receives death threat after writing opinion piece on election 2020. It gets uglier by the day, Mamavi, I should say. Now, this morning, we know that the GJA has released a press statement. In that press statement, they are actually calling on President Akufo-Addo to call people, to condemn this and to call people to book. Now, it's not just Manasseh Azuri. There are other journalists, including myself, who have received messages indicating that there's some message that said, we're coming for you, and whatever that means. So we have made a report to the police. We have yet to hear anything from the police. So this is a gentle reminder.
I guess in the course of this review, we can read out the GJA's statement, very strong statement that's coming on the back of all the threats that, first of all, Manasseh has received, but also journalists, including yourself and others across the country.
Almost all of us who were on air during the elections.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't make any sense. So we'll read the statement, but Mavi, let me go to the top stories, other top stories on the website, myjoyonline.com. Right next to Manasseh Azuri's stories, you have bailiff says he was beaten by Ameu's boys while delivering injunction notice. It comes with a picture of John Peter Ameu there. That's one of the stories I will be taking a look at today on the AM show. We also have a picture of the Electoral Commission chairperson insistence on 24-hour declaration of results, part of post-election issues. That story has been attributed to Kwesi Ening, who is, of course, a security expert there. Also, we have political parties must allow state institutions space to operate. That's coming from the NCCE boss, who was on the probe last night with MFA Apau. Then it's almost becoming a crime to be seen fighting corruption under NPP. That's according to Suleiman Abraham, Executive Secretary of the Media Foundation for West Africa. And Chairman Wuntumi justifies his failure to capture all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region. Of course, it was their target going into the election. The last two, Mamavi, so that you can read for us the GJA statement. Akufo-Addo pledges to ensure peace post-election. The story that Mapito brought you shortly earlier. And corruption is, quote, business in Ghana. That story is also attributed to Kwesi Ening. So, Mamavi, back to our story about threats against journalists and what the GJA this morning is saying. They're calling, like I said, on President Akufo-Addo to condemn these attacks. But you have a detailed statement.
I do. And this statement was released on December 27, which was just yesterday, signed by the General Secretary of the Ghana Journalists Association, Kofi Yeboah. And I'm just going to read it out to you. The Ghana Journalists Association has received disturbing reports of death threats issued against freelance investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri from someone believed to be a political fanatic, aggrieved by an opinion piece written by the award-winning journalist on the outcome of the 2020 elections. We have also received similar reports of death threats against other journalists across the country by politically connected persons. This is the latest of a series of death threats issued against Manasseh in the past few years. But the venom in the latest death notice served on him via email is poisonous enough to snuff life, and for which reason the GJA wishes to sound the alarm bell for all to respond. The GJA totally condemns such barbaric contemplation, machination, orchestration, plot, and scheme, whether individually inspired or collectively conspired, to kill a journalist for discharging a lawful mandate guaranteed by the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Given the growing depth of tolerance in our body politic and penchant by some people to resort to brutality, especially against journalists, given the reference to the gruesome murder of Ahmed Swale made by the threater to inform Manasseh about the fates that await him anytime he picked his pen to write.
So this person, if I could just jump in there, Mama, because before you wrap up, apparently is warning Manasseh, using Ahmed Swale as an example. Now, that's a very serious one. We know the circumstances that led to Ahmed Swale's, death. And so it makes this one very worrying to point that out. Even, I mean, we don't even know how the investigations on that particular Ahmed Swale case, ended, if it has ended. So to point it out, to say, you saw what happened to your brother, we're coming for you, I think that's very
because we
scary.
know nobody has been punished for that. Yeah,
for that.
And it's still an outstanding case. But this person makes reference to what happened to him and says that, look at what happened to him.
It's terrible.
We're going to do the same thing
to
you.
So let's wrap up with this one.
Yeah, so just to the last paragraph, if you like, the last bit of the statement, it says, in the regard of the foregoing, we call on the Ghana Police Service to investigate, arrest and prosecute the suspect as swiftly and decisively as possible. We also call on the police to provide adequate security to Manasseh and other journalists across the country who have similarly received death threats. We believe the seriousness the police attaches to these matters will help calm the nerves of journalists in particular, Ghanaians in general, and foreigners residents in the country about their safety and security. Well, they also make a call, Gifty, like you said earlier, on the President. Who's the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, to condemn the death threats against journalists and give a firm assurance about their safety and security. That we have not heard yet. We know the President spoke yesterday at their Thanksgiving, for the victory in the 2020 elections, but he's yet to touch on this.
To be fair, though, I think the statement came in
after that.
Later. So we're hopeful, and in fact, we're expecting to hear the President speak on this one. I think it's a very important step if he does take it, and he should take it, because then it sends the signal that I am not supporting this. If you don't, the silence is what gives people the strength to act with impunity. So,
There's also a call on the National Peace Council, the political parties, civil society organizations, religious organizations, and all meaning Ghanaians to roundly condemn the death threats issued against Manasseh and other journalists. And then they're also making a call on other international organizations as well. So we hope that this pressure will begin to build, and the persons mentioned here, those who are not even mentioned in the statement, will begin to come out and then condemn. Because these threats are coming from people who have political connections.
Yeah.
All right.
What this does, by the way, Mamavi, is that gradually, before you even speak, you are scared. So you won't speak at all. And that is a culture of silence that we have dealt with many years ago, that we have moved on from. Anyway, Masamo Yawa. So
no, I don't think so. I think it's a very important.
I mean, it touches me very
issue.
Personally, and I think this Ghana has come too far for us to retrogress this way.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
So let's do graphic online. We don't have the hardcore paper, but we can go to their website. So this is what they're reporting today on their website. Don't predict election outcomes. Apostle Nyina to profit. On the same platform, there was a contradictory view because Chairman Wontumi, and we touched on his story about he defending the fact that they couldn't claim all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region. No, not Wontumi. What's the other name? What's the name? Owusu Bempah. Yes.
He was one of the invited
pastors
yes,
on the occasion,
to the program.
But he disagreed with this.
I mean, you're okay to disagree with opinions. You're okay to disagree. I think that Apostle Onyina has his reasons, and he's made his argument. Anybody is free to agree or disagree. But we'll see how it goes. I think I would rather go for what Apostle Onyina says, because he says it creates tension.
Absolutely.
If you can predict it, I mean, just predict it to the people involved, and let them pray about it. But to make it a national statement, and then it becomes a conversation, and people are hardened. And anyway, Daily Graphic. Okay,
so the rest of the story, I will act in the interest of all Ghanaians, says President Akufo-Addo, and this was at yesterday's Thanksgiving. On COVID-19, Ghana's active case count increases to 871. There were videos or pictures of people who went to some of the beaches to celebrate, and their excuse was that, well, look at all the political activities that happened. If they didn't spread COVID, why do you think that we in celebrating, enjoying, would be spreading COVID. So don't tell us that.
Yeah. We make laws that we know we can't enforce.
Yeah.
I think we've come out and told people that don't do this. But the people who are in leadership are seen doing this. And someone was asking in a funny way that President Akufo-Addo says people shouldn't go to the beach. Does he have a Snapchat? No, is it Snapchat or an Instagram account? Because like people are going and posting the pictures. Like, you know, you said we shouldn't go, but we are here. Hello.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I saw some statement by the Tourism Authority, and they said they're going to be be up on some of the beaches that
how do you stop it? So you see, how do you stop it? With all the people who are mossing at do we even have the ability to enforce that? If we don't deal with the agencies, you know, the owners of, you know, a beach resort, you deal with the owners.
Well, not all the beaches have owners. So there are other places,
so,
I mean, it's open. You can walk from one stretch to the other and you're still at the beach.
Yeah, but I think it's an individual thing. We should take it up on ourselves to protect ourselves. Maybe because people are not seeing deaths, they think that it's okay. But in Germany, in 24 hours, you have about 4. You've been talking to Thomas Sparrow,
yes,
our partners in Germany. They tell you how difficult a Christmas they've had. In 24 hours, people, like 400 people are dying, no, 4,000 people are dying and stuff.
Yeah.
People are, COVID is still here, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so let's do the rest of it. There's a tragic incident of a tricycle killing a pedestrian in Adenta. NDC heads to court on Wednesday to challenge election. Well, wait a minute. Apparently, it's not on Wednesday. It will be likely tomorrow. We have a member of the NDC legal team joining the show in a little bit, and he'll be sharing a lot more with us. So there are plenty other stories from what we've read and others on Graphic Online. That if you find any
there's my church there.
Which one's your church?
Methodist Church Ghana inducts lay president.
You go to Methodist?
Yes, I'm a Methodist. Why?
Oh, do you still go to Methodist?
Of course. Yesterday, I almost said last night.
I thought
yesterday I was in church. I was in Methodist singing hymns. Why?
Oh, okay. In the Presbyterian, I thought you're Presbyterian. Or...
Really? But Presbyterian is very similar to Methodist. I thought you were going to go something more radical, because I'm a radical Methodist. I'm a radical Methodist. But my Methodist church, Bethel Methodist Church in Tema Community 8, is a very, you know, audacious church. But for the pews and the hymns, you wouldn't know it's a Methodist church.
Oh, okay. So that's it. Well, I mean, but Presby is also, I mean, we're also
Presby
cool like that.
We're you know, like...
Yeah,
you know.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your story, right?
Yes, it is. I just want to congratulate, unfortunately, the thing is I don't follow too much of these, you know.
The traditional Methodist stories.
Mine is to come and pray and, you know. But yeah, so that is William Orlings Ako Odro. Is a lay president. Congratulations to him and congratulations to the Methodist Church. Well, which other stories? Let's see. Ghana present food ban, not very interesting to me. Rural Community Bank's monies intact. Deputy MD of Apex Bank, regulation won't stamp out false profits. Reverend Minister, an NDC demonstrated call for recollation of results, and that's a call that's been going. We'll find out, Mama V, I think, when you speak to Amaleba, whether or not they still stand by this, or as they go to court, that will be one of the demands they'll be making when they go to court.
Yeah.
And government...
All right, so we'll do City FM online. No, it's City Newsroom. I beg your pardon. So there we are right now. It says nearly 6,000 fires recorded in Ghana since January 2020, according to the fire service. I think one of the worrying issues is the fact that we actually don't see the reports of these fires. So we've recorded quite a number on top of my head. There was the Odona, Kantamanto, there was the GCB, there was one in Koforigia. I think same day, two happened same day, different regions. And we don't get to the bottom of it. So we can't tell the cause of these fires. So what kind of lessons are we really learning from it? That's
and the chunk of that happened, Mama V, in just December. I think a good number of fires were recorded in December. Like you're saying, it happens, we move on. So let's move on from there.
All right, so this other issue, which is also developing in different areas, court bailiff allegedly assaulted by supporters of Peter Amewu. So if you read the story, it tells you how the bailiff says that Mr. Amewu apparently saw it because he rolled down the glass of the car that he was seated in and then rolled it back up. So according to the narration, he saw it but didn't do anything about it. Our political affiliations shouldn't deter us from securing Ghana's space, Ghana's peace, according to the president. NPP holds election Thanksgiving service. We'll be telling you, we've been sharing fallout of that with you, and FDA intensifies inspections to prevent the sale of expired products. Some wicked persons take advantage of the occasions, the festivities, and they sell products that they shouldn't be selling because they're expired. They should be trashing them, but they either reduce it, make it a little cheap so that we can all buy it. They blind us. Some of them actually take the expiry dates off completely. And then, but the FDA is intensified, but we should also watch out so we don't buy expired products.
Individual responsibility. I mean, money is hard to come by, but your health is more important.
Absolutely. All right, so there are other stories, of course, all related to the elections as well on their websites. Gifty, we're going to do the BBC now.
All right, let's go international. Trump signs COVID relief and spending package, and that has been a bone of contention for the Republicans and the Democrats. They've been back and forth with it. Now, the measure, according to the story, restores unemployment benefits and averts a partial U.S. government shutdown. There was going to be a shutdown because I was going to say the minority and the majority, because the Democrats and the Republicans, by the way, the Democrats are, in charge of the Senate, they don't agree, and they have to agree, which is one of the things that people are scared could happen in Ghana if the opposition gets to be in the majority and gets to head to lead parliament. So they're having their own issues up there in the United States. But finally, Mr. Trump has signed the COVID relief and the spending package. So those who were affected by COVID can get some money over there.
One of his arguments was that the money that had been passed earlier was too small. So he wanted a lot more. So finally, what he wanted is what he has signed.
Oh, right. I see. Well, it's good for them. At least those who have been impacted by the COVID will get something.
But when I hear stories like that, I'm thinking, hey, Charlie, how about us?
America, right? Or you mean?
No, but at least they get something. Okay, they get something.
Okay. Well, but we have the, NBSI? We have the NBSI. I think I got the...
Yeah, it's for businesses. This is when... Because of COVID, you haven't worked, you haven't earned anything. The state is giving you money.
But we shared food.
State is giving you like $2,000. Gifty.
COVID. You see, I have friends who have been impacted, who have lost their jobs, and they're saying that the money is nothing.
Yeah, but it's something to other people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to other people. Yeah, of course. Okay. Hey, but I've also heard some U.S. citizens who are excited about the packages.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we shared food during lockdown.
Gifty, we're talking about now. This one is not lockdown situation.
We've done free water, free electricity, shared food.
Which we appreciate. Yes. I mean, we also got our own package. Yes. But I'm talking about this kind of advanced package. We should be aiming at doing something like that in the future.
I'm sure the president is listening. I'm sure the president is listening. So that if Trump can do it, we can do it too. So there is a story right there. So Babavi obviously provides a bit more of the context. So Trump has actually done what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Okay.
We want to listen. Can we listen to him?
Okay, let's see. One of my favorite guys right there.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's also a call on him to concede, okay, so that his legacy will be protected. Because as it is now, he's still disagreeing with the election results. Let's listen to Mr. Trump now. That next administration will take over from 20th January, by the way. He still says it could be him.
It could be me. Yeah. I mean, that's a very interesting.
He's not legally challenging his defeats.
But he hasn't said will be me. He said could be me. So what he's saying is that there is a possibility, as Americans will say, there is a possibility for him to be in power again.
Okay, so we're saying, dream on, Mr. President, after 20th January.
Yeah, but I mean, many people are sort of moving on with their lives as we are here in Ghana. After the election, they're like, I mean, if it's clear enough that one party has won, let's just move on with our lives, wait for the next 4 years. But let's see how it goes for Mr. Trump. 20th year, Bebape. All right. So
there's a South African issue which is very important and scary in so many ways.
Very scary. South Africa passes 1 million COVID cases. Now, recently there was an outbreak of what they're calling a different strain of the virus, I think. And I think it's really impacting them. Now, if you look at South Africa, the demographics, you want to look at people they have a number of people living with HIV, AIDS, there are issues with tuberculosis as well. These are vulnerable people, and they are high risks as far as coronavirus is concerned. So it looks like it's really beating them at this time. But I really am confident in their ability to work it out. Their lockdown was very harsh. So I don't know why they're back to, it looks like the Christmas, people sort of went out, did what they wanted to do. But I really hope that they're able to.
Daily average of 11,700 new cases of COVID in South Africa. So this is a new milestone that they've just recorded.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Mapito, please, let's pray for our people.
Yeah.
All right. So how a pariah and a Nobel laureate became friends. It's an interesting story there. It looks like a feature. You can click on that. West Brom earned points at Liverpool. That sounds more like Mama V kind of story.
Yeah, they share the points.
Yes.
Otherwise, Liverpool would have gone up with 5-point difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the life of the hijabi model breaking boundaries. That story was written, what is it, Bristol? Okay, so it looks like this one is a model who wears the hijab.
Yeah.
There
was a recent one, I think this was also in Europe, and she had retired. She was sharing the difficulties. Sometimes they share the positive story like this, and you're like, oh, that's really cool.
Yes.
She's free to still be in her hijab and still do her thing. Model. But there are a lot of hurdles.
Yes.
So this one, it got to her, and she just suddenly retired, and she was sharing her story.
It's not that easy, because the people who believe in a certain way of dressing don't believe that you can add other complement and take out something. So they are the people who probably oppose you. But she looks pretty, very beautiful woman there. Well, if it's it's something that interests you, you can click on that story. It's on BBC. Take a look, educate yourself. Are we done, Mama V, with that one?
Yeah.
We should. Oh,
we've gone to Sky now. This is a trip around the world, really, with how the different portals are reporting the stories. So in the UK, hospital admissions near first wave peak as one ambulance service reports one of busiest days ever. I think I was listening to the fact that some of the ambulances are packed in, they're very close, not just even within the community, but in specific areas. So as soon as they get the call, they're almost like right there.
Yeah.
And they're just picking people like that.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's really terrible. And in the UK, I think at a point there was a border closure between parts of Europe and the UK, because apparently there was a strain in the UK that was killing people much faster. So Germany was concerned. I don't know how, somehow we here in Ghana seem to be, I don't know if I should say we're blessed. Like, it just seems all okay for us here.
Somebody said it in another way. I mean, God knows. That
He
knows that we couldn't do like a quarter of what these other countries who are recording these huge cases are handling. We couldn't do that.
With all their money.
Yeah.
But for those of us who believe in prayer, we believe that, when it started, churches were praying, there was a national day of fasting, etc. For those of us who believe in prayer, we believe that it's part of the things that's working for us. So let's keep praying. But I think the mask wearing, taking care of ourselves has also largely helped, so we should keep at it. Okay, Sky for you, Mama.
All right, so let's do the CNN, shall we? Okay. I guess the biggest story in America is Trump signing the COVID relief bill after the delay. But, people are excited now because they have more money, if you like. But
CNN is interesting with the way they report on Trump, So there's an analysis there beneath Mr. Trump's picture. It says Trump chooses chaos with delayed signature of COVID relief bill. Then another one says, shouldn't be big news, bash on Trump signing COVID bill. GOP lawmaker on what was happening behind the scenes after Trump delayed bill. Analysis, why Trump is already the 2024 GOP frontrunner.
Hey.
Opinion, okay, Trump plays golf. I mean, anyway, that's interesting.
They're not, Trump. They're not friendly to Trump, are they?
That's an understatement. They are they are anti-Trump. Like they make it very, very obvious and very clear. I mean, they don't mince words. You can have an anchor sit on TV and rant and say all kinds of things and swear. And I look at that and I'm like, you can't do this in my hometown.
Well, no, wait a minute. There are other stations who are doing this in your hometown, Gifty.
Really?
Yes, they are.
I haven't heard. Maybe that's why everybody's quiet.
If you come all out to say that you are a pro this, pro that.
Yeah.
Do you listen to those stations?
No. I mean, I'm not talking about the media houses. I mean, obviously, most of them are owned by political parties, by individuals who are politically connected. So I'm talking about a CNN, the CNN that we know, and how they can sit on TV. And you know how we say it in Chi, now our super presidents, like the way they...
You think that's not happening in Ghana?
No, but I mean, okay, let me say you can't do that in Joyne's. We can't do that.
So you're talking about the standard, right?
Exactly, and being professional.
Because of course you wouldn't hear that on BBC, for instance.
No, you won't. But I mean... it's like CNN. The people who watch CNN, everybody's like saying, yeah, now it's so...
Those who watch Fox will also tell you that they also take positions. So it's just like the opposite of what happens.
Okay, I haven't followed Fox as much as I followed CNN. So I can only speak for the CNN issue. And anyway, so police named Nashville bomber and released new surveillance video. So terrorism is still rife. I mean, the last time we thought that coronavirus would have changed their mind, but looks like they're still, they still have their courses and they follow it. And Chinese journalists who documented Wuhan coronavirus outbreak jailed for 4 years. That's for China.
So this person was just telling the story of how people were dying, how the hospitals were recording, and these were mostly unedited videos that she was sharing, given the update. And then she was arrested for, I think initially they said, sharing false information. She went on a hunger strike. I remember there were different things, and now here we are.
4 years.
With this jail
I don't know.
sentence.
I don't know why anybody should go to jail for reporting something that was...
Well, is what governs their country.
Yeah.
So what you'd see here, the freedom of speech that you enjoy, freedom of expression that we say, it's not somebody's freedom in another country.
And that's why it worries some people when they see that, China is partnering most of the time with a lot of African countries, because they get the feeling that these people don't necessarily uphold the human rights the way we know it. And so when they become closer to you, the fear is that they will influence you. I mean, imagine an African president using China as an example and saying that you're going to go to jail because our constitution doesn't say that. Even though theirs says it, you might want to you risk people copying blindly because they are some kind of superpower and they engage them and give them money. But anyway, this is China for you.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what has happened to a person who was independently, reporting on the coronavirus pandemic. Remember when it first, broke in Wuhan, and she's now received a 4-year sentence. Yeah. Okay, so our last stop is Al Jazeera. South Korea steps up virus vaccine efforts as new strain found. Government is facing criticism over its vaccine program, which is seen as being too slow. Okay. Trump signs COVID relief bill amid pressure, but arts conditions still...
I like the way the Al Jazeera is reporting that, the Trump thing. I think it provides a bit of context if you look at it. He did it amid pressure, which is for real, and then he has a condition to it as well. I like the way they're reporting it.
I see your taste, Gifty.
Oh, yeah.
Also, experts are preparing to travel to Wuhan to investigate how COVID-19 emerged as China questions origins and spread. I guess now we've cleared our heads. We can now reason, and so we can now begin to find out the truth, instead of blame China and call it the China virus. Like, think about it properly and let's have a conversation. South Africa crosses 1 million cases of COVID-19. We've shared this with you already. Police named person. This is also something that Gifty shared on CNN. Unbelievably cruel. U.S. legislators pressed Trump about COVID aid. This was before the signing. Man charged in Illinois, bowling alley shooting that killed 3. I haven't been following this issue much. I think for me, it's just been about the celebrations of Christmas, all the positive stories, not necessarily the negative ones, but this is something that's also brewing in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, the guns are available for people who can afford it. So sometimes it gets very easy to just reach out and discharge. Yeah, I think that's what has happened in this particular case. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Egyptian delegation visit Libyan capital for talks with GNA.
No, it's not the Ghana News Agency.
I know. But I mean, Libya is one country that I always, I feel very sad talking about it. Looking at where it was and where it is at the moment, it's just terrible. But
yeah. And those who teamed up to initially go into the country and start the war in the first place, how have they been contributing to its recovery from where it is today? I guess that's what makes me very angry. Yeah.
It makes you angry. Anger is good. Anger is good.
Fauci warns U.S. COVID-19 outbreak may worsen after holidays. Oof. Well,
yeah, I mean, that's inevitable.
It may not be a Trump administration the next time. Otherwise, they would have dealt with him again.
It could be me, he said.
Yeah, it could be him.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But hopefully, like you're saying, if it is not Mr. Trump, then the expectation is that Biden listens more to the scientists. I mean, that has been their argument. So they'll be able to do something about it. I mean, Mr. Trump was in denial for a very long time. So.
Well, okay, so this is where we will end it, really. We hope that we've given you a fair appreciation of what's happening across the world. As we're in the holiday mood, sometimes we don't even know what's happening. But this is what is being reported across the globe. Gifty and I will take a breather. When we come back, we've got a lot of conversations. So in 2 parts. Some of us were in some... Gifty, where were you on Christmas Day?
I won't say. I
have some of your pictures. I'll put it out.
Really?
Yes.
Mama V, seriously? Okay. I won't say. But I tried to just make it something...
Hide and seek.
No, Mama V, why? I just tried to do something different. I'd usually just be working or be at home. So I just did something different. So let's just leave it at that.
All right. So what did you do differently this year? What has, did COVID affect your Christmas celebrations? We will be talking about that, but also be digging into the NDC's position. Where are they with the action that they are seeking, you know, if you like, to take exactly. Thank you, Gifty. So all of that coming up.
I got you. You know I got you.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a girls' show. Special AM shows Gifty and myself. So stay with us all through till 9 a.m.